Persona 4 has some great social links. I think most people watching would agree with that. But there's one social link in particular that gets more flack than any other despite being one of the best. That social link is none other than Ebihara. Let me explain. Many people very quickly write Ebihara off early on in her social link because of the way she acts. People tend to say she acts like a or what have you, but if you actually try to see where she's coming from, by the end of the social link, she has an amazing growth, and I'm tired of people acting like she doesn't. People over the years have rated her as one of the worst links in the series, and if you do that, then I'm sorry, but that makes absolutely no sense. To me at least. Over this video, I'll be going over all 10 ranks of her social link, including both the romance and non-romance routes, since they do have a good amount of differences to them, and then elaborate on them. Obviously, I mean, what else would I do here? Just sit here looking pretty? Alright. I'm yapping on, so let's just get to the link itself. Rank 1 gives you that bad first impression that most people end up running with, where she asks you to skip class with her and then makes you carry all of her stuff she bought since she and her family are hella wealthy. But this is the entire premise that her social link depends on. Think about the entire theme of Persona 4, which is to pursue your true self. You aren't meant to judge people off of first impressions. You're meant to put in effort to understand those around you since everyone has their own personal problems. To add on to this, even as early as rank 2, when you're shopping again with her, she tries to boss you around, but to actually get optimal points for the social link, you need to talk back against her and not go with her demands. This means that she likes it more when you don't just blindly follow her like a stray cat, obviously. This is because just a few moments later in that same link, she opens up a little more and says, "There's no such thing as a relationship without ulterior motives," which gives you a good idea of what her inner struggle would come to be, especially when she gets jealous of the compliments you receive. Then, rank 3. Yeah, this is where her social link is a make or break for some people, so let's spend some time here. This starts just as the other two for the most part, but then at the end you have the very, very rude moment where I basically calls someone asking her out ugly and then blows them off. And then this is one of the very few social links you can actually end up reversing in the entire game. Regardless of whether you reverse it or not though, I mean yeah, this is fucked up. But this is where you have to be willing to understand someone despite the bad parts about them. I think most people in real life would most likely decide to cut ties with Ai because up to this point you've basically been used and now she's acting like this. But this is all a coping mechanism for her true insecurities. While I don't really blame people if they decide to give up on the social link, you just have to keep in mind what I said about the theme of the game. Think about someone like Naoki or Kanji, who also give off poor first impressions. Despite being rude at first, once people get to understand them more, they often end up being a fan favorite for many. They might not have been as rude as Ebihara, but everyone is different, and I think it's actually cool that this type of character is represented. I don't think everyone should instantly be likable because that's not how the real world works. Anyway, I'm kinda yapping a little here, so I'm gonna move on to rank 4 because we got more to talk about and elaborate on anyways. Rank 4 is the first good hint you get as to how she actually feels about the reputation she's made for herself. So whichever sports club you chose early on to join ends up gossiping about Ebihara, basically calling her out on being an apparent hoe, and she ends up hearing about it. Narukami and Ko in this case defend her, and you can see that these rumors about her obviously bother her. She tries to act like she doesn't care since that's the sort of image she's made for herself, but the reality is clear. Rank 5 and 6 is when things start getting a little janky again, but after that it's peak. So rank 5i basically says she has a crush on Ko and wants to ask you for help to see if he likes her back. And then once it's revealed that Ko actually likes Chie, she very calmly says, "Oh, okay, no problem." Yeah, no, that's a lie. She threatens to jump off the school and kill herself. But she's still slaying it with her hand on her hip, so, I mean, that's pretty fire. All jokes aside, she talks about how she's way prettier than Chie and whatnot, and then finally opens up about her past and why she acts the way she does. She wants to believe she's better than those around her because of the way she got bullied when she was younger. People called her mean names, her crush didn't like her, things like that, and she lost weight as a result. She doesn't feel like she has anything else going for her, so she convinces herself looks are everything. All of this is one of those things that makes so much more sense if you've actually gone through something even remotely similar to that. I won't make this all about myself, but when I was younger, I had to deal with similar things, and while I didn't cope with it in the same way Ebihara did, I know a lot of people who do. You project the insecurities inside of you onto others and try to seem way better than others since you've been put down so many times, which is why she gets so defensive when Ko likes Chie more than her. She thinks the effort she's put in makes her entitled to all the attention and validation she seeks from her past, and from this link onward, she starts to understand that more and more. Since this is what her social link is based around, this is why her arcana is that of the moon. Characters of this affinity end up taking things around them for granted, and think the world revolves around them. People with the moon struggle to make proper and logical decisions because of this. It's why in rank 3 she blows that dude off for not being up to her own egregiously high standards. So yeah, I think this rank is really good for showcasing the arcana and character of Ebihara, and it gives you a way better understanding of why she acted the way she did. The end of rank 6 is also where you can choose to branch from the romance or platonic route, but like I said, I'll go over both. Starting with the platonic route, you pretend to be her fake boyfriend, and she very quickly begins to realize everything is a sham. She's forcing herself to be with you just to feel validated in herself, but it's not working anymore since Narukami has seen her true self for the most part. Rank 8 is honestly more or less the same thing, but the sham becomes even more clear, and then rank 9 is when she decides to give it up. She says she wanted to learn to love Narukami, and doesn't feel like he should be with her since he can do better, showing she's changed a lot since you first met her. She feels like she's worthless, she's selfish, but she still wants you to be her friend since you've helped her to understand her flaws more, and in the finale, rank 10, she vows to find something that gives her worth and meaning, rather than chasing validation as she has been. Instead of using people and seeing herself as the center of the world, with the true friendship she made with Narukami, she realizes that with an actual support system, she can be who she actually wants to be. And it's all because he never gave up on her despite the rumors and terrible things she said and did. And that in particular is why this is one of my favorite non-party social links in Persona 4 by far. Like I mentioned a few times, the entire theme of Persona 4 is to pursue your true self and seek the truth through the fog. If you ignored her problems of seeking validation and believed the rumors, you're actively going against the theme of the game. This isn't to say you're a bad person or whatever if you didn't finish it, but if you decided to give up on her solely because of her early links, then I'm sorry to say that you missed out on one of the better developments of any of the social links. And you did kind of miss the point, I'm just saying. We aren't done though, because her romance route elaborates even more on what I said, which is cool that both paths can show you a similar yet different side of the character. In the rank 7 romance route, instead of going shopping as usual, you have a heart-to-heart on the rooftop, where she says she had an introspection about herself after the previous link. She flat out says her whole perspective up to this point has probably been wrong, particularly regarding the whole looks thing. When she was planning on jumping off the roof, she was obviously being irrational, but genuine, because she truly felt like if you aren't the prettiest, you might as well kill yourself. This is an outlandish line of thinking, but again, it's one of those things you can understand more if you've been through something like bullying because of your physical appearance. Rank 8 yet again has Ebihara talk about her realizations of herself, and that's the fact she's been running away from who she truly is. Go figure. Like I said, her self-image was completely shattered by the bullying she went through, so she decided to throw away who she actually is for the artificial ideal girl she had in her mind. She wraps it up perfectly by saying, "No wonder I didn't think anyone would like me. Of course I didn't have any redeeming qualities. I wasn't me." And man, that's honestly one of my favorite quotes in any social link ever. Rank 9 is where she proves her growth, where after an argument with someone she used to talk to, she protects Narukami from getting slapped in her place by taking the hit. If this happened in the earlier ranks, she would have been devastated, especially since her face swells up, and obviously she wouldn't have actually taken the hit for Narukami. But now that she's just being herself more than she ever had been, she really doesn't care much at all. She wanted to protect Narukami and that's that, and no chance in hell she would have wanted to do that before, like I said. And rank 10 is actually really interesting, because despite being more or less the same as the platonic route, since you're on the romance route, you could choose to reject her confession of love. Even if you reject her, she takes it pretty well, and even though she's sad about it, since she was true to herself and her feelings, she feels happy that she did it. I think this is a lot better than the romance option because like most romance options in Persona, it just feels so tacked on and it barely adds anything, especially in Persona 4, but that's a whole other topic. The way Ebihara's social link diverges with the romance route is really interesting because if I'm remembering correctly, there's really no other social link that does this. They change a little bit of course, but I mean the entire context of how she grows and views herself is completely different. And that's pretty fucking cool because realistically, if you fall in love with someone, the way you interact with them is going to change. She wasn't pretending to be with you like the platonic route, she wants to be with you. Alright, we've covered all 10 ranks including the 4 diverging platonic and romance routes, so now we can wrap things up. As I've explained many times at this point, Ebihara showcases the main idea and theme of the game very well and tests the player regarding it. Her growth is one of the most extreme and obvious cases out of the other links, and as I also said, she's one of the more realistic depictions of trauma in the game. The only other social link that rivals her in these regards outside of the main party in my opinion is Naoki, since he does this very well too. Overall, I think Ebihara has consistently been the most overhated and underrated social link in the entire Persona series. I see absolutely no one talk about her, so I had to speak up about why I love her so much. I can see a part of myself in her, and I think they did a fantastic job writing her. That's basically all I have to say regarding Ebihara for today. How do you feel about her? Do you like her? Do you hate her? Feel free to let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like and a subscribe. It helps my channel out a lot, and I'll give you a free cookie on the way out. Here you go, my friend. With that said, it's been your boy Yandere Gogeta, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out everybody, and have a great day.